Internet, Jesus loves you. My name's Cody, and this is the Christian News Show we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays with GeeksUnderGrace.com. Before we get into the news really quick, patreon.com/GeeksUnderGrace. If you did want to donate money to us, you can, and that would be fantastic. And our first story of the day is this thing called the Jesus shot. I personally call it the same thing I call all shots, which is nope. Or alternatively, no. You probably don't know this, but I legitimately have a phobia of needles. Fun fact. So Dr. John Michael Lonergan claims that he has taken all the miracles of Jesus and put it into one single shot so that you too can be healed. Actually, he just said that it's inspired by the miracles of Jesus, but still, it's weird in general. It has a few things in it that I cannot pronounce, and B12, I know that one. That gives you energy. But according to like all other doctors, it's only gonna last you about a week, maybe two, and then the effects are going to be gone. And for the most part, it's basically just pain medication. But anyways, that's a thing. Next up, I wanna talk about a study, rather an article about a study. I've brought up Relevant Magazine before. I really like the way they spin certain things, and this is one of those times. Like, you probably already know that the United States is not healthy. And I mean, that's kind of what happens when the most obtainable food source is McDonald's. So there was a study made by, and I love this, the Mayo Clinic. I hope somebody else sees the irony here. But according to the Mayo Clinic, 97% of people in the United States are not healthy. At least not at the standard of health as we should be. That's talking about exercising regularly and eating healthy foods. So this has less to do with obesity and more to do with the fact that we're just lazy and have no self-control. But in the article, and I'll leave a link in the description below along with everything else, of course, they talk about how this is kind of a spiritual issue. And I absolutely get this. Right now, I'm actually working really hard on eating better. Don't check my Instagram because I just made an amazing steak the other day. But I, like many other people, I don't eat for sustainability. I eat because I enjoy it. I love eating food. I'm all about the flavor. And usually when I diet, I'm like, I can eat healthy and still have good foods. But that gets me kind of into a downhill spiral. But it reminded me a lot of sin, and I'm not saying that you can't enjoy foods by any means. I will again do that sometime. But God made something good, and so I took it, and then I abused it. And I mean, we call it gluttony. But it's the same thing with everything, right? Like relaxation, that is a good thing given from God. In fact, he ordains an entire day to it. But when you abuse it, it becomes laziness. And I'm gonna kind of get into this as we talk about our next story, but it's amazing what we as humans will do with our pride and really kind of our disrespect for ourselves. But on the flip side of that, it's kind of amazing what we start to do with ourselves when we realize how much respect Jesus has for us. And from that final story of the day, very cool news. The Bible is always being translated into new languages. And over the last year, over 50 different translations have been created of the Bible for different languages. And these account for 160 million people that wouldn't have heard the gospel any other way. And just throw some numbers at you. At the end of 2015, there were 563 languages that had Bibles so far. That reaches out to 5.1 billion people. And there's about 281 people who only have the New Testament as of right now. And about 500 million people who have no translation of the Bible whatsoever. And this had me thinking about something I've heard many atheists say, which is if someone doesn't have access to the gospel, why give it to them? Why give the burden of eternity to them? Basically, why don't you just let them live their life without worrying about whether or not there's an eternity? And so first of all, an eternity is a very long time. But the longer I'm a Christian, the more I realize that Christianity isn't really for God. I mean, Christianity is about God. It's from God. But stop and think about it. God doesn't need you to live a Christian life. But Cody, if you don't, then you'll go to hell. Might be a hard truth, but God doesn't need you to go to heaven. I'm just saying, it's pretty selfish for you to think that God needs you at all. But he wants you. You have to ask yourself, if Christianity isn't benefiting God, then who is it benefiting? And maybe it's you. Crazy thought, but maybe all those laws put in place will actually better your life. And if not you, then maybe it'll better the world around you. I think we get so caught up in legality that we forget that God doesn't need any of it. You do, because that's what you were created for. Question of the day, going back to the first story of the day. If you were told that you could take a Jesus shot, would you take it or would you call it blasphemy? Or just not take it. I don't know. There's probably an in-between there somewhere. I want to know what you guys have to say, so please leave a comment in the comment section down below with your answer. I hope I was able to, like, be somewhat enlightening for somebody. I don't know. That was a weird show, but I'm really happy with it. I really like when I can get deep like that. So leave a comment in the comment section down below with your answer. Check out geeksundergrace.com for geeky content. My name's Cody Armour, bringing Christian news in a not-so-boring kind of way every Tuesday and Thursday. In closing, let the haters hate, let the Christians pray, and to everybody like subscribe. I will see you later, and God bless.